Are you ready to take the first step to embrace the unknown and step out of your comfort zone? Welcome to Step Out, Step In, the podcast that inspires you to break free from your familiar to explore the extraordinary. Hello, this is your host, David Gill. Every Monday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, join me as we dive headfirst into thrilling stories of personal growth, daring adventures, and transformative experiences. Get ready to be motivated, inspired, and empowered to live your life to the fullest. So mark your calendar, set your alarm, and get ready to step out, step in with me every Monday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Don't miss out on the adventure of a lifetime. Subscribe now, and let's step into the unknown together. This is Step Out, Step In. The journey begins here. Step Out, Step In podcast, live on Mondays at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Subscribe today. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, or good morning, good afternoon, depending on where you're watching from, or where you might be watching the replay. And again, I'm glad to come your way today, Monday. And I welcome you to episode 45 of my weekly podcast, Step Out, Step In. And today we'll be dealing with break free from the familiar. And this is the second part of it. And I'm glad you're here today. I'm your host, David Gerald, and in this episode of Step Out, Step In podcast, I said we'll be dealing with break free from the familiar. This is the part 2 of it. I want you to do me a favor, share the link with at least one person. Let one person also share, and let's do this together. And just before I proceed, I want to sincerely apologize for skipping last Monday, episode 45. But that is what we're doing today. Last Monday I was away from home, and I attempted to stream live from where I was. Something I had never done before, but I wanted to attempt to do it. But due to technical challenges, I was unable to do it stream live. I've been giving up. I'll try it again. So, once again, thank you for allowing me into your homes, wherever you're watching from, and share the link with at least one person, and let's do this together. So today we're going to explore how you can break free from your comfort zone, explore new horizons, and discover what happens when you embrace the unknown. In episode 43, episode 44 was 365 days of doing this podcast. And episode 43 was when I talked about breaking boundaries. And I just want to do a quick recap. You can always go back. It's on my YouTube page. You can always go back and reference it. In episode 43, with a recap, I said, number 1 is your personal growth. It is easy for you to settle into a routine. It is easy for you to stick with what you know and to avoid the unknown. It is very easy to do it. But in doing so, you realize that you miss out on the incredible opportunities for personal growth and development. Personal growth is the process of an individual becoming aware of the self in its entirety, followed by taking steps to address the behavior, the attitude, the values, the reactions, the habits that they wish to change. It allows individuals to become more or the best of themselves, the best version of themselves, giving them the skills and confidence necessary to navigate any situation. So the best investment, I said in that episode, the best investment you can make is to invest in yourself, invest in your personal growth. Breaking boundaries leads to creativity and innovation. God is our creator as a person of faith. Let me put it this way. God is our creator. And he made you and I to be creative and innovative. He made us to be creative and innovative. But sometimes familiarity can lead to stagnation. It gets us stagnant. Whereas exploring the extraordinary often sparks creativity and innovation. I also said that breaking boundaries make you live a more fulfilling life. When you refer to the episode 43, this is just a recap of episode 43, because we're continuing with episode 44 where we left off on episode 43. It is easy to fall into a routine, as I said earlier on, and go through the motion, but life becomes truly fulfilling when you seek out extraordinary experiences. Going through the routine can be boring. It can be really, really boring. And so exploring the extraordinary contributes to a more fulfilling life. So that is a recap for episode 43. You can always go back and refer to it. But before I dive into what I have for today, before I dive into the points that I have for today, the key points I have for today, let me take a moment and reflect on the power of embracing change. The power of embracing change. Now, change is the only constant in life. Change is very essential for personal growth and development. There is a change which, whether you like it or not, it will come. You don't have to do anything about it. As you grow, as you age, as you go through life, that change will come. You can compare the picture you took about 10 years ago. Compare the picture to a picture you just took today, probably a selfie. And you realize that there's been a change. And there's this change that you have to make the effort to make it happen. So let's get into it. Let's get started. Number one, let's look at the comfort zone. The comfort zone. My first key point is to understand the comfort zone. Now we all have one, and it's a place where we feel safe, we feel secure, we feel that we are in control. However, it's also a place where growth is stagnant. You must recognize your comfort zone and understand that growth happens outside of it. I said the other time that what I'm doing, this live streaming I'm doing, it's really, really outside my comfort zone. When I tell people that I'm a really shy person, sure, but I am. I'm an introvert. And what I'm doing now, it's outside my comfort zone. But in order to break that comfort zone, I have to do something that I'm not very comfortable with. So I decided if I wrote a book about it, then I have to be able to break it. When I had to write a book, my first book, Step Out, Step In, I typed out the manuscript myself. Some days I stayed up all night to write because of the peace and the quietness. It made me step out of that place of comfort. I had to stretch myself. You know, I said starting this podcast was also outside my comfort zone. And I had to do this. And I believe that we all have a place where we feel very comfortable, but it never takes us anywhere. So we have to break that comfort zone. And in breaking that comfort zone, we have to also, number two, embrace uncertainty. Embrace uncertainty. And that is my second point. You know, the unknown can be very intimidating, it can be scary, but it's also where opportunities and adventures await our happiness. You know, as a person of faith, let me share scripture with you. And the scripture is Isaiah 43 and verse 2. And from the New King James Version, it says that when you pass through the waters, that you realize that it begins with the word when. It didn't begin with the word if. If is more conditional. When means I will settles everything. It says I will be with you. And through the rivers, they shall not overflow you. And you realize that it is something you go through. You don't stay in there. It says through the rivers, they shall not overflow you. When you walk through the fire, you shall not be burned, nor shall the flames scorch you. Yeah, so when we look at the scripture, it has when and I will. So when means that no matter what, it's just a matter of time. You will go through some challenging moments. But God has given us that assurance that He will be with us. He will be with you. He will be with me. When you're faced with uncertainties, which is inevitable, you have to understand and you have to know that I am embracing this because it's taking me to another level. It's taking me to a place I've never explored before. So when you're faced with all these uncertainties, which you can do anything about it, whether you like it or not, someday, one day it will come. Number one, be kind to yourself. Sometimes, as human as we are, we take ourselves too seriously, and we get too hard on ourselves. Don't be too hard on yourself, ladies and gentlemen. Don't beat yourself up. I've known people who've made some major mistakes and up to date they haven't been able to forgive themselves. Let it go. Let it go. You know, some people are better at dealing with uncertainties than others. So don't beat yourself up. If your tolerance for unpredictability is lower than a friend, remind yourself that it might take time for the stressful situation to be resolved. And be patient, be patient, be patient, and be patient with yourself in the meantime. When you're faced with uncertainties, which is inevitable, don't, number one, I said, be kind to yourself. Number two, develop new skills. Develop new skills. You know, it is said, according to experts, the average person has up to 700 skills ready to be used at any time, any given time. And you don't need to excel at a skill to claim you have it. When life is relatively calm, make a point to try things outside your comfort zone. You know, last week I said I was going to try to stream outside my home. you know, but then, well, life happens. Technical challenges. The internet wasn't that good. Yeah. But that doesn't mean I've given up. I'm going to try it again. So from standing up to a difficult situation, standing up to a difficult boss to try a new sport, take a risk. How uh, taking risks helps you to develop confidence and skills that come in handy when life veers, of course. Also, avoid dwelling on things you cannot control. Avoid as much as possible dwelling on things you can control. When uncertainty strikes, many people immediately imagine the worst case scenarios. Sometimes you and I will have to get out of the habit of ruminating on negative events. We have to get out of it. As a person of faith, let me share another scripture with you. And that scripture is Philippians chapter 4, in the verses 6 and 7 from the Message translation. It says that, don't fret or worry. Instead of worrying, pray. Let petitions and praises shape your worries into prayers, letting God know your concerns. Before you know it, a sense of God's wholeness, everything coming together for good, everything coming together for good, will come and settle you down. It's wonderful when it's wonderful what happens when Christ displays worry at the center of your life. I believe this is self-explanatory. You can say, don't fret, don't worry, instead of worry. And I've never seen anywhere that you can worry and worship at the same time. They can never be on the same platform. They are never on the same platform. Anytime you worship, worrying backs off. That is why the scripture is telling us that let petitions and praises shape your worries into prayer, letting God know your concerns. Of course, God knows everything concerning you. So I'll leave you with this scripture. And again, engage in self-care. Engage in self-care. Don't let uncertainty derail your healthy routines. Make the effort to, number one, eat well, exercise, get enough or adequate sleep. And as a person of faith, I will encourage you, depend on God fully. Also seek support from those you trust. Many people isolate themselves when they are with or when they're facing uncertainties or challenges. But social support is important. So reach out to your family members, reach out to friends, colleagues that you trust. I've come to realize that more often than not, the people who cannot help you either pray about a situation, encourage you about it, end up gossiping about what you share with them. Find people who can support you, who can encourage you, who can uplift you when you're down, who can help you pray about that situation and seek that support. Don't be an island. Don't isolate yourself. And also control what you can. Focus on the things that are within your control. Even if it's as simple as weekly meal planning or laying out your clothes or the night before. a stressful day, or making your bed every morning when you wake up. You know, establish routines that to give your days and weeks some comforting structure, and also ask for professional help. Ask for professional help. If you're having terrible challenges, or if you're having trouble managing or coping with uncertainty on your own, please ask for professional help. That is why the professionals are there. Number three is expanding your horizon. Expanding your horizon. And that is the third point. You know, life is a magnificent journey, and it it's meant to be explored. You and I will have to explore life to know how magnificent it is. Now, as I was preparing this, I looked at a man called Mahatma um, Gandhi, and part of his biography, The Making of Gandhi, and I just want to share that with you. The making of Gandhi. You know, not all journey come from positive places. Not all journeys come from deep. Not all journeys come from positive place, and deeply negative experiences can produce profound wisdom. Now, this is the man called Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi, better known today as Mahatma Gandhi. You know, as famously chronicled in his biographies, Gandhi arrived in Durban in South Africa to serve as counsel to a local merchant. I'm trying to get a picture on. Let's see. Yes, there we go. And this was the case for Mohandas Gandhi, better known as Mahatma Gandhi. Um, and in South Africa, you know, that was during the apartheid. He suffered from in-grade segregation at the time, as Indians were treated the same as non-whites in South Africa. You know, Gandhi faced multiple instances of injustice. He was ejected from train compartments despite having first class tickets. He was subjected to police beatings and ordered to travel under deplorable conditions. His experiences abroad returned him to India to change as a changed man, a champion. And he championed the ahimsa and non-violence. Gandhi orchestrated a peaceful revolution against the British to lead his own highly oppressed country to freedom. Sometimes all it takes is seeing the world from a different angle to change your perspective and inspire ideas. Sometimes that's all you need. Sometimes that is all you need to see the world from a different angle. You know, my spiritual father, Dr. Franco Fusopia, always says it this way, and I like how he says it. He says, when you're exposed You can never be unexposed. And he tells us, don't be a village champion. Go places. Go explore. Go observe. You know, the village champion is the only one that stays in the village for too long, and when he goes to the city and see all the lights, he gets so wow. Sometimes go places and go see things. Go explore. Recently I traveled to Ghana and for my father's funeral, and I had the opportunity to go on a 10-hour direct flight. But then I chose to go on a connecting flight through Brussels, which lasted 24 hours, including layover. Of course, it was very tiring, but I had the opportunity to experience a foreign country I've never visited before. So something different from what I've always been used to. So it made me see something different. Of course, the journey was tiring, but I experienced something for the first time, and it's still going to lead me. I mean, the airports were different as to what I'm used to, and that alone is an experience that is going to stick with me forever. Who knows your next trip? Could it be an amazing, life-changing adventure? And one thing is curiosity, passion, and a thirst for knowledge can drive you to explore new horizons. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's break free from the familiar. Let's break free from the familiar. Right. So, I'll be right back, and I'll just do the recap, and we'll be out. Again and again, thank you so much for tuning in to episode 45 of my weekly Step Out, Step In podcast. And from today's episode 45, talking about breaking free from the familiar. And just a recap of it. Number one, I said, understand the comfort zone. When you understand the comfort zone, it is very easy for you to break away from it. Embrace uncertainty. And number three, expand your horizons. And this wraps up for today's episode. Remember, breaking free from the familiar is a lifelong journey filled with exciting challenges and rewarding experiences. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to take that first step. Remember this, don't be afraid to take that first step. Embrace change, and you will discover a world of opportunities you never knew existed. And just before I sign off, I also want to introduce you to my spiritual father, Dr. Frank Ofosuapia. This is cooperating with me today. Right, here we go. Every Tuesday at 6 p.m., he hosts live on Facebook and YouTube, the Ambassador of Hope. These are teachings that are life-changing, destiny-shaping. And I tell you, it will bring you it will help you in your spiritual personal life, your career, your business, your education, you name it. And I want to encourage you, if you haven't subscribed to his YouTube page, or if you haven't, um, if you're not following him on Facebook, please do so. These are teachings that I know people pay hundreds and thousands of dollars to go listen to. And even what they get is not even close to what he gives us for free. So every Tuesday on YouTube is Franco Fosoapia, the official. And on Facebook is the Ambassador of Hope. So sign on to it. Click on that notification bell so that anytime he posts something, you'll be notified. Please, please, please. I want you to you test this, and you realize that all these times you've missed it, you're kicking an iron ball. So every Tuesday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Facebook and YouTube. Facebook again is the Ambassador of Hope page. On YouTube is Franco Fosoapia, the official. Sign on to it, and let's all do this together. He always tells us it is not an extension of another church. No, these are teachings he's helping you and I with so that we can live a fulfilling life. So again, every Tuesday, sign on to it. All right, so once again, thank you so much for tuning in and for joining me today on Break Free from the Familiar 2. I hope this episode has inspired you to step out of your comfort zone, or has inspired you to step out of the comfort zone and to embrace uncertainty and expand your horizon. If you enjoy this podcast, please subscribe if you haven't yet done so. Leave a review, a good one, a nice one. Leave a review, comment, share with friends, family members, frenemies, or even your enemies. You never know. So again, on to the same time next week. Keep breaking free from the familiar. This has been your host, David Joe. And I want to say that I love you, and there's nothing you can do about it. Until same time next week.